Hey, welcome back, folks, to Max Nave Horsemanship. And after I made you endure a rather lengthy video on that last one, which, well, it takes what it takes. That's why my video is all different lengths. I don't have a set length because depending on the topic or whatever, it takes what it takes. But today I think this is going to be a relatively short one. And, well, you'll notice the horse that I've got in here right at the moment is Clint. And he's the one that's sold. But you actually get to see him again. In fact, you might get to see him a couple more times depending on what we do for future videos. And he's still sold though, but due to some government interference on this end, things have gotten delayed, and to no fault of the purchasers, they can't pick them up yet. And the problem is on this end, and it's government interference, and they claim they're helping, and if the problem that they think might exist actually exists, they're actually making things worse by what they're doing, but I'm not going to get into that. He's still sold, okay? I was in contact with the purchaser and offered to refund their deposit because at this moment, when they would actually be able to pick them up is a complete unknown. Can't get a straight answer from anybody. Like I said, government's involved. Can't get straight answers from them. So, but they decided, nope, we still want the horse. That's definitely the horse we want. We will wait. Even though we don't know how long they're going to have to wait, they're willing to wait. They want this horse pretty bad. It tells you, well, anybody that didn't take the time to come and see him, your loss. But that is, well, that's why he's here. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. What I want to talk about is preventing problems. Now, I've talked about this before in my training videos, but it does not limited to training. Now, proper training can prevent problems before they even happen, but it's not just about training. There's a lot of different things you can do throughout the course of the day, and I could use some, I could give you some, scenarios that don't even have anything to do with horses. But I'm going to stick to the horses because, well, this guy here actually inspired me to think about this and want to talk about it, because you will notice that most of the time when I bring horses in here, there isn't even a halter on them. And that's because this arena attaches to our large pasture, which is where most of the horses are, and mine are. Well, normally they are. At the moment I got 3 in there and 1 in another one, this one, which I'll get to that in a second, because, well, that's why. Out in the pasture, it's very easy, connected, and the way I do things, it's very easy to bring a horse in without a halter on. So we frequently do that. That's why often. But in the case of this one, he's on the other side of the yard in another section that we have. And, well, to prevent problems, we put a halter on him to bring him in. Now, the reason for that is because, well, coming directly from the pasture in here, there's no risk of anything going wrong. But when I bring him in from over there, I have to cross the open yard. Now, he follows me pretty darn good most of the time. And the odds of anything going wrong, not too likely. He'd probably just follow across. But, so the odds of a problem actually occurring are extremely small. It's very highly unlikely that it's going to be a problem. But I want to make sure that I can prevent problems, because the potential problem would be, as we're leading him across, he decides, yeah, I don't feel like going that way. I'm going to go that way instead, and go across the yard, down the driveway, and out onto the road and get hit by a car. Well, that would be really bad right now considering he's sold, but at any time that would be bad, because I don't know about where you live. A lot of places the laws are very similar. Here, if a car hits a horse that is loose, the owner of that horse is responsible for the damages to the car and the occupants. So you can not only get your butt sued off, but you're also going to have to deal with an injured horse that may have to even be put down, so you'll lose a horse. And, even having it put down and having the body removed, that's going to cost money. And even if it's, could be saved, you're going to have a huge vet bill. And any one of those scenarios can make a very bad end to your day. And in fact, depending on how much you end up being held responsible for and how much you have to pay, your life might be not so good for even a few years, maybe quite a few, depending. And, but it's all preventable. That's a problem that can be prevented by simply taking a few seconds to put the halter on the horse while I'm bringing him across the yard. That's it. A few seconds prevents a problem that potentially could last and impact my life for years. A few seconds, several years, or thousands of dollars, or just having a really, really bad day. Yeah, that's why I take a few seconds and I put a halter on. Now, a lot of people would think, well, you don't need to. I can't be bothered. I don't want to. But honestly, unless there's problems with your horse and your training, it actually does only take a few seconds to put a halter on a horse. If it takes more than that, well, that's okay. You'll find out when you go to put the halter on if there's a problem, and if there is a problem, that's something you should be working on anyhow. So you can't go wrong by putting the halter on the horse. And if it's not a problem at all getting it on, it only takes a few seconds. It prevents a problem that could last for years. So there you go. And that's just one of many, many scenarios. This is a real life one, which I like. They're the kind of things I like to share with you. And there's a lot of other scenarios that I could share with you that where potential problems are eliminated by simply taking a small step to prevent them. And that's why I've always said, it's so much easier to prevent problems than it is to fix them after they occur or deal with the aftermath or whatever the case may be, because in many cases, the thing that you need to do to prevent the problem really only takes seconds. People don't like doing stuff like that because they're in a hurry, and I've said before, nothing takes longer than getting in a hurry. There you go. So prevent your problems, take a few seconds, and the end result is, and this applies to training, applies to just about anything, is the amount of time you save by spending a few seconds. It's going to save you, at the very least, a few hours, if not days, weeks, months, or even years of anguish and upset. So there you go, folks. Prevent problems. It's way easier. Have a good day.